Hi, my name's Will, and welcome to the Distorted Transmission for today. I'm talking to a guy called Jin Song. We're talking about his band Kiero. How are you?
Kia ora, Will. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm pretty good. So, the band Kiero. Can you? Well, I guess we should do the introductions. Who's in the band? There's only one of you there, but obviously there's more than one. Not many more though.
No, not many more. So I'm Jin. I play bass and I sing. I also write most of the music, and then we have Grant Kirkpatrick, who plays drums, and Michael James Collier, who plays keys. And we're also in the process of acquiring a guitar player, but we're kind of hemming and hawing about it. Yeah. So we're currently a three-piece, could be a four-piece soon.
Were you a four-piece before?
Originally, yes, we did have another member, but he moved to Melbourne. And so then at that stage, we tried, experimenting with whether we should get a guitar player, but then we decided that we should try as a three-piece to see how it goes. Because I've always had the mentality of like a recording and a live show are two different things. And so the live show is always a bit more raw and stuff. So why don't we just strip it back and kind of make it a little bit more punky, I guess.
If you give me a brief history, your history is brief anyway, so that shouldn't be too difficult.
No. So yeah, basically, well, the idea for this band actually I came up with in 2015 or 16, around then. And then that's when I actually started writing music. I actually hadn't written much music before that. And then I went to Auckland Uni for music school and I studied songwriting there. And that's when I kind of found the sound of this band. And then recruited the members in 2020. And then yeah, we've just kind of it's been slow, but we've just released a song. And yeah, that's kind of it. That's the history of the band, I guess.
I'm not quite sure how to compare and contrast the band's live footage I've witnessed on Facebook in general against the new single, because one seems to be an almost sort of chill and laid back exploration of moods and grooves, whereas I sort of found the new single, it's almost like a melodic post-black metal assault from start to finish, particularly because of the way it was recorded with like quite a high kind of gain. It's almost like everything was recorded just a little bit too loud, you know? I mean, that wasn't accidental. That is the effect you were going for. So you must have sort of quite diverse influences. And I mean, how would you kind of define your sound? Because I found it quite difficult to do because you're sort of quite broad.
Well, first, thank you for saying that. Yeah, like, well, I guess it's kind of weird because I grew up listening to like metal and like hardcore and metalcore. That's the kind of music that I grew up on. But I found myself getting kind of a little bit bored by heavy music after a little while. So I kind of fell out of that music for a really long time, like 5 or 6 years. And then my friend showed me the band Loathe, and I really got into that. And then that whole style of music started coming back to me. And at this point, I'd already written a few songs for Kiero, for the band. And I really wanted to write a song with a blast beat in it because I'd never done that before. And I was like, blast beats are sick. Let's write a song with a blast beat. And when I was coming up with it, I set myself some ground rules. I was like, no guitars, just to do things a little bit different. I said no guitars, and I'm going to try sing in the softest voice that I can, because it's kind of the last thing you'd expect when you hear like a pummeling blast beat kind of song.
When I sort of like jumped onto your Facebook, I thought, okay, it's going to be pretty much the same kind of, formula. And then I listened to your other tracks and they weren't. I was like, okay, so he's going for the sort of the out of the box thing, basically gone sort of rogue jazz on all genres, which is a good thing. A lot of bands that have sort of caught my attention over the past few years, because I've been into extreme sort of music ever since I was, I don't know, 4 years old, when my dad was listening to Black Sabbath and stuff, right? So long time. But sort of bands like, I guess E04 was one of the ones that came out, I guess 5 or 6 years ago now, and sort of blending sort of drum and bass beats with death metal guitars, and I'm terrible with words under pressure. opera vocals and things like that, and like just
Yeah,
smashing
yeah.
them together, and they're not supposed to work, and they actually sound really fucking cool.
Mm,
And so
mm,
I kind of got that kind of vibe with
mm.
Kiero as well. With the sort of right planning going forward, you guys could sort of like evolve into something really quite unique.
Yeah, like that's definitely like I'm the same as you. Like when I find bands that do stuff, you know, stuff that shouldn't work that but does, I find it really intriguing as well. And I mean, you say, you know, you like that it sounds like a lot of thought was put into that song. It actually wasn't. It was really quick. Like I wrote that song in like 2 or 3 hours, which is really short for me. The vocals that are on the song are actually the demo vocals. Like I didn't even re-record them. Like it's just straight from the demo. Even the keys, I think, is the same MIDI that I used to record that stuff. Like it was all done super, super fast. Um, yeah, in retrospect, I probably spent 5 times longer just on the drum sounds than I did on the rest of the song.
Well, then I guess in that case you must have had some preconceived concepts going in. I mean, that you didn't start raw and end up there. You must have had some.
Yeah, kind of. It was, you know, write a song with a blast beat, don't have any guitars, and don't have any screaming.
I think for most people that'd be quite difficult to do, especially the not having guitars part would be.
Yeah, well, if you distort anything enough, you can get it to fit pretty well with the blast beat because it's this synthesizer here, and most people think it's actually guitar because it's run through a guitar amp.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm just keeping quiet because I actually thought it was guitar as well.
yeah, which is again, it's by design. You know, it's supposed to feel like it, um, and then yeah, I don't know. It just makes it's interesting to me. Like I wanted to make music that was interesting to me. Um, and if people enjoy it, that's awesome. If people don't get it, that's awesome as well. Like, you know, everyone's different and you have different tastes, but
That was another reason why I got kind of confused with the song and its production and seeing you live, because I thought those guitars are really heavy, and as it turns out, it was a synth all along. So it is possible to sort of emulate that live because you don't need two guitars because there isn't even one guitar being utilized.
exactly.
Okay, it's
Mm,
interesting. Well done.
yeah. Thank you.
The next part of that conversation is, is the single a part of something larger to come? Because I know you've got more songs than that. Because I've seen your sort of Facebook, and there were a few brief yet fleshed out live performances.
Mhm.
So will you be releasing some more to sort of go along with that release? Or
I'm currently in the process of thinking of how I'm gonna do it, but the most likely it's gonna be a 3 song EP. And that song will probably be on it. It might not. I might just leave it as a standalone thing. Because that song is a little bit different, like you said, to the rest of our material. I'm kind of tossing it up. But at the moment, we're trying to suss a space to record drums. And then, yeah, everything else should fall into place and should be out around maybe March next year, early next year. Yeah.
do you think the sort of concept of EPs and albums is really as valid as it used to be? I mean, it's sort of a 3-track EP, you could just as easily release 3 singles, right?
It's a battle in my head because I'm an album guy. I like, you know, I like to put on an album from start to finish. And there's something beautiful about having stuff like that. Like if you listen to like Crack the Sky by Mastodon,
Mm,
it's like cohesive from start to finish. It's
sure.
the last song ties in with the first song, like everything kind of, you know, has this energy to it and you can really like put yourself in there.
Mm.
And I like that experience, but obviously, you know, that's not as common anymore.
I'm the old guard. I fucking hate Spotify. People will send me
Mhm.
Spotify links, and I'll just look up
Yeah.
the name of the song and then try to find it on YouTube because I refuse
Uh-huh,
to go
uh-huh.
there. But I mean, everyone seems to be on board with Spotify, and that's fine, you know. But I'm sort of old school, so yeah. When people talk about EPs and albums and stuff, I think, are they just doing it for the sake of tradition, if you will, or do
Mm.
they actually personally think it's a valid thing? So I'm pleased that you do.
Mm.
That's quite heartening, actually. It's
Mm.
good.
Right. Yeah, I'm definitely an album guy, and I if I had enough songs for an album, we'd have one out already. But at the moment, I'm only happy with about 5 or 6 of the songs that we do have. So an album isn't viable at the moment. It's also like so much more work that has to go into it.
For sure.
And I'm a lazy ass dude, so I kind of need like, like I find it easier to go, okay, we're doing drums, and then we're doing this, and we're doing this, and we're doing this. Okay, as soon as the song's out, then we're on to drums again.
While you were saying that, I was kind of also sort of thinking about the fact that because you're such a, shall we say, alternative band, you don't really fall into that sort of niche market where you need to release a single every 6 weeks.
I think the cool thing, though, on the flip side of that, of doing multiple singles, is like you can kind of have like these thematic releases of like, this song is like, you can kind of let the song shine a little bit more. So you do get a bit of an advantage there.
Or so that's sort of like more sort of micro. I can't even think of the word macro. Like try to put the story instead of on an album in the track itself. So like you have to sort of like break everything down into like a smaller portion.
Exactly.
Have
Yeah.
that journey too.
I
said that terribly, but yeah. Thank you for understanding.
Nah, you totally got it. It is that. I guess that's the way you have to look at it for people like us who are like album guys. If you've got a band that's, releasing singles as opposed to an album, then you kind of get to piece the story as it goes on, as opposed to like in this one go, or you like skip track 6 because it's a little boring or whatever. Like you don't get that, I guess. But yeah, it's weird. It's a weird thing because no one listens to albums, but then everyone I seem to be friends with listens to albums.
Yeah.
And I'm not making this music to make money.
Fortunately.
Yeah, fortunately, exactly. So why not do it the way I want to do it,
Okay, cool. Last question, I guess, is what's the plans for the band going ahead?
So yeah, we've got new music coming. Currently have about 3 songs in the works, but we'll probably be doing a 3-song EP. As I said before, just as a first kind of release, and then we'll be knuckling down and hopefully doing some more writing, which I've been very bad at doing recently because I've been in recording mode.
Okay, and any gigs? You mentioned that you may have a gig, but it's not.
Yeah, not 100% final, but we may have a gig at Cassette 9 in February, and we'll be playing with the First Child, Melanie, and Qualms, who are like my favorite bands in that sort of scene. So yeah, super excited for that, and
fingers crossed it happens.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully it goes through. Yeah.
The last question is always, is there anything else you'd like to add?
First off, I want to thank everyone who's checked out the song. It's like means so much to me. Like I said, we're not making music to make money, but it's still cool that people check it out and stuff. If you do want to listen to the song, you can look us up on Facebook or Instagram at There Is No Kiero, which is Kiero. We're also on YouTube as well, but I have not uploaded the single yet, but I might do that right now.
All the best with the single and the new ones that you're going to hopefully bring out, and hopefully the gig in February, etc. So cheers.
Awesome. Thanks, Will.